Number 1. Kpop Entertainment making Miyeon participate in sensitive drama. Besides the hectic promotion with G-Idol, Miyeon has also been super active with many personal activities, like being MC of M Countdown, radio DJ for Blue Light, and featuring as the main characters for 2 web dramas, Replay the Moment and Delivery. Of course, fans were super happy to see Miyeon shine like that. However, such happiness also didn't seem to last long, because recently, Kpop's made an extremely disturbing decision, where people couldn't help but ask whether the company was trying too hard in pushing G-Idol's popularity after Suchin's scandals, that they even dared to put Miyeon's image at risk. As reported, Miyeon would play the role of Yura in a high school web drama called Adult Trainee. Though the series was produced by 2 well-known companies, CJ and DK, fans have still been increasingly furious after finding out that the content would be quite sensitive, and probably vulgar to some extent. Based on the related synopsis, Adult Trainee is a drama that depicts pink comedies of teenagers, especially those of Gen Z, who are undergoing hormonal changes. All characters in the series were introduced as 18-year-olds, who are experiencing huge physiological changes and tons of worries about love life. Not stopping there, the posters of Adult Trainee were all about provocative references, featuring a huge banana, condom, and some tissue papers. The pink theme poster was even hotter because, besides all the things mentioned and some more stimulative items like birth control pills, a pomelo cut in half, and some red peppers, there was even a flaming hot quote saying, "Our class is always on fire." Apparently, this is no longer a new or too controversial thing for an entertainment product, considering how WAP and other fun songs were embraced by lots of people. But most fans still find it unacceptable for Kpop to let Miyeon take the project. Since she is an idol, especially an idol introduced by Kpop Entertainment as a pure and naive persona, people are worrying that her image will be put at risk. And down the road, probably she must also cross the lines for some scenes in the drama. In fact, not only fans, but netizens were also enraged at the decisions of Kpop, because considering how the South Korean society was still quite conservative, making a female idol like Miyeon participate in such a provocative high school drama didn't seem to make sense at all. Even when some tried to look at the series in a more open way, they still found the script disturbing. Because while the same educational purpose could have been done in the context of college, the producers still chose to put in the characters of high school students with a distorted mindset about private things. Plus, people also noticed the drama was kinda trying to be the Korean version of Netflix's Sex Education. And of course, it was still not a good thing considering how the producers didn't even change a thing to suit the South Korean context, and how they chose Miyeon to portray such a sensitive story. However, there were also some opposing thoughts, and according to them, people were just overreacting, since the producers already said how the drama was for educational purposes, and it's not like they would have a sex scene, so Miyeon's was totally okay. Plus, Miyeon probably herself made up her mind to choose to be in the drama, so it was quite nonsense to blame the company for this. Number 2. Marbling Entertainment and JTG Entertainment trying to sexualize underage idols. Debuting in 2017, with a lineup of all members whose age only ranged from 14 to 18 as of 2019, Busters was really the youngest K-pop group back in the day. However, for the sake of popularity, their management company used to do a bunch of questionable things that, even until now, not a single soul could justify for the company, even when taking into consideration how Busters would also benefit if they had enough public attention. Back in 2019, after Busters had their broadcast on V-Live, people started to throw hands at Marbling Entertainment literally right off the bat, because they made the girls wear not only short clothes, but also sit in a position prompting the exposure of some private parts. Busters were later seen to share some desserts with 2 male YouTubers, collaborating on the show as hosts. But while things could have proceeded in a happy atmosphere, like all other live streams, they were arranged to sit in between the 2 men exactly like hostesses at clubs. What's even more annoying, according to one netizen, was that while such disturbing incidents has happened a lot to female idols of small companies, she still couldn't understand how the company could present their idols that way, and arrange their seating as 8th grader, adult male, 8th grader, 9th grader, adult male. When netizens found the condition alarming and started to go back for Busters' previous broadcasts, and even promotional photos, they were all shook to find out the sexualized minors were also the main concept of the group. The hard, cold truth is that good people do not always have good things happen to them, and it can clearly be seen through the latest incident of an underage member. Recently, JTC Entertainment was under fire again for making Jisoo, a 16-year-old girl at the time, appear in the ads of a plastic surgery clinic and created false impressions that she had gone through multiple procedures to get where she was. As some netizens tried to dig deeper, they also found out that Jisoo was actually made to model for this clinic in 2018. And back then, she was still only in middle school. Of course, the agency was non-stop thrown hands at by netizens. But as I've said, since being controversial is their strategy to make busters popular, nothing was done to reverse the consequences. JTC Entertainment still kept silent, and the ads continue to be there on the clinic's website. Number 3. Vine Entertainment punishing Secret Number's Denise for raising voice about social issues. While fighting for a better world has always been a good thing, not every management agency in Kpop holds the same view. And in the case of Secret Number's Denise, she was even punished for making attempts to spread positivity. Because Denise was born in Texas and speaks fluent English, she easily attracts the attention of international fans. So Vine Entertainment decided to let Denise have her own Instagram to interact with fans. However, her own Instagram was not actually really her own. Because after Denise used her account to support the Black Lives Matter movement, posting 3 stories in a row to raise people's awareness about the problem, and raise funds for relevant organizations, the company immediately shut down all of her social media. First, fans discovered that her Instagram was deleted all of a sudden, and then her public SoundCloud channel was also gone. After more fans got to know about that, they all took their frustrations to Twitter and asked Vine Entertainment for an explanation. Since the company continued to keep silent, some even agreed to stop streaming and buying Secret Number's music until proper statements were released. And as if that wasn't bad enough, some noticed Vine even took down the latest selfies of Denise as another punishment for her balls to talk about social issues. Number 4. JYP Entertainment ignoring Jamie. After the collaboration with Doja Cat and Best Friend, Jamie is gradually gaining back the attention she deserves. And after an appearance on Video Star, she had opened up about the time where JYP Entertainment literally abandoned her talents. While that might sound weird, because it was the company that offered to sign with Jamie when she won the very first season of Kpop Star in 2011, they somehow changed their mind and did not allow her to produce music for several years straight. In fact, they did give her some space to raise reputation in the early years by debuting Jamie in 15 and then let her have a solo career with successful collaborations with Eric Nam, Unique Sungyeon, and rapper Nathan. In 2016, she even got to release her first EP. But probably because her reputation, compared to other artists debuting in the same year, like EXO and Ailee, was kind of off, JYP decided to ignore her all the time after that. Things were so bad that in 2018, when Jamie was emceeing for Arirang After School Club, she even called out JYP for not allowing her to sing and produce music.
JYP! Are you listening?
Hey!
I need to sing!
Why did you take my...
I'm a singer!
No, sorry. No, sorry.
So that's why I need an album!
No, sorry.
You know what I mean?
When Kevin and Jay tried to calm her down and wrapped up the conversation quickly, Jamie was still not having it and continued to point out how ridiculous it was when she had to go emceeing for 4 years instead of performing on stage. Number 5. JYP Entertainment making Day 6's Jay do everything on his own. Besides Jamie, Day 6's Jay was in no better condition because, though JYP Entertainment themselves decided to debut him as a member of a band concept, they later abandoned the whole group and made him do all the promotional activities alone. Recently, on August 31st, Jay revealed through a Twitter Spaces session that, for his upcoming Los Angeles Music and Arts Festival in November, his head had been buried in work with deciding his setlist, preparing a live band for his accompaniment, and hiring staff for the event, like lighting technician, teleprompter operator, and a general technician. Typically, these tasks are often taken on by the agency staff, but as Jay explained, he had to handle everything. And what's even sadder was that he admitted to having never gotten any help with anything. The treatment of JYP towards Jay was even odder considering how they shut down his YouTube channel, J6, after he begged for permission to do it, handled all the work alone, and of course, if things went well, then the popularity of Day 6 would also benefit. So what do you think is the reason behind these questionable treatments of the companies towards idols? Besides these cases, do you want to add some more to the list? Comment down below to share your thoughts with us. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to BeBoss TV for more interesting content. Thank you for watching.